I'm Jenina Duatin, Registered Nutritionist Dietitian Diabetes Educator of Institute for Studies on Diabetes Foundation, Incorporation. Diabetes mellitus is a chronic health condition which the body does not produce enough or respond to normally to insulin. So it causing the blood sugar to high or not in the normal levels. The signs and symptoms of diabetes or diabetes mellitus, yun yung frequent urination, yun yung tinatawag nating polyuria, then extreme hungry or this polydipsia, then unexplained weight loss, yung hindi nila ma-explain yung bigla nilang pagpayat na hindi naman sila nagda-diet. Excessive thirst, yung tinatawag natin na uhaw sila palagi ng uhaw at saka umiihi sila palagi. Then, feeling of tiredness, yung palagi silang parang walang energy yung taong may simptoma ng diabetes, and then pwedeng biglang paglalabo or blurred vision nila, yung paglalabo ng mata, at saka yung mga iba, yung mga extreme na talaga, yung mayroon silang pakiramdam na tingling sensation sa paa o sa parang may gumagapang na langgam sa kanilang paa pag sila ay natutulog o kaya kahit nakaupo lang. So, yan yung mga signs and symptoms of diabetes, yung usual. As I mentioned, na yung mga signs and symptoms, lumalabas na yun sa kanila, then yun yung mga dapat nilang tandaan na yung mga signs na mayroon na silang diabetes. Then, ang dapat nilang gawin, need to seek the help of the diabetes specialist for confirmatory test na dapat gawin sa kanila to confirm na kung mayroon na talaga silang diabetes. If a person has already a diabetes mellitus, so yung effect nito for our body is the complications. Complications of macrovascular, yan yung tinatawag natin yung mga lalaking ugat sa ating katawan. Then the complication of micro, yung maliliit na mga ugat. For the macrovascular, yan yung mga, it could be lead to cardiovascular disease, yung mga retinopathy, or yung loss of vision for our diabetic individual. Then it can also lead to neuropathy, yung mga wala ng pandama at nagkakaroon ng problema sa bara sa ugat, sa paa, or sa lahat ng parte ng katawan. It's also nakakaroon ng amputation or pagkaputol ng mga paa. And then yung dialysis, yung end-stage renal disease na mostly sa mga dialysis center, yung population natin ngayon, yung diabetes yung pinakamalaking percentage na nagkakaroon ng end-stage renal problem, yung mga taong nagda-dialysis dahil sa diabetes. So, pwede ding magkaroon sa mga lalaki yung sexual dysfunction na palagi nilang kino-complain. Yun yung mga complications of diabetes. It could be physically inactive. We do not have enough exercise. Palagi na tayo yung nakaupo ngayon because of, lalo na ngayon, nasa general quarantine or work from home, wala tayong ginagawa kundi nakaupo na lang sa harap ng gadget. Then yung unhealthy food choices. So yung trend natin ngayon kasi nasa quarantine tayo, mayroon tayong pandemic, is to order foods online. So yung anong available ngayon ng mga foods online? It's high in fats, high in sodium, high in calories, but no or less nutrient content of the food item. So that's the reason the Filipino now, it's a prevalence for having diabetes or high incidence of diabetes in our country. Nutrition is the first line of therapy and prevention and management of diabetes. So through nutrition, yung proper healthy food choices, and then also not only nutrition but physical activity can control the weight of the individual to control for having diabetes, and also to control the metabolic parameters. Yung tinatawag natin metabolic parameters is to control the blood pressure, the lipid profiles, yung cholesterol, the bad cholesterol of the individual. So not only for diet changes yung dapat nating i-consider, but the behavioral changes of the individual. So, yung behavioral changes ng individual is to change the food choices na kailangan niyang matutunan. So, yun yung pinaka-first step na dapat nating i-consider sa mga individual na para ma-avoid or prevent the diabetes. Yung be mindful of what you eat, yung food choices mo. For example, if you're used to take the high fat sources of foods, you can gradually change it to more healthiest choices of food. Yan yung mga like vegetables, then fruit, and then whole grains. Yung mga whole grains natin, instead of white bread, you can choose the whole wheat bread, and that's all. So Sun Life is supporting the advocacy of ISDFI for prevention and management of complication of diabetes through good nutrition. Also, not only for diabetes, but also other non-communicable diseases like hypertension, dyslipidemia. So through Sun Life, we have now come up a structured program for nutrition program for healthcare professionals that's include the doctors, the dietitian, the nurses, and allied healthcare professionals to increase the knowledge of this healthcare professional in terms of nutrition for prevention and management of diabetes. So the nutrition studio is not only for a cooking demonstration, but also a nutrition clinic for patient and family members of the patient with diabetes to educate the patient on proper nutrition or healthy food choices to control or slow the progression of complication of diabetes. So for healthcare professionals like doctors, nurses, dietitians, and allied professionals, we also like to have a program, or we have now the renal diabetes nutrition program, and then the medical nutrition therapy for gestational diabetes mellitus. We have a workshop, a 3-day workshop for healthcare professionals that in order to manage the pregnant individual with diabetes.